going to open up to questions from the panel here in just a second, but I also do want to ask you, you are a sniper yourself. You have been a sniper yourself. How good was this guy as a shot?
He wasn't, and that was the thing that saved the president. The bottom line is that I can tell you with absolute certainty, if you put me at 200 yards, we were trained that anything within 300 yards and in, you would only do what they call hollow tees, which is here and here. That is your only mark in which you're actually aiming and shooting for. Anything beyond that, you basically do a center mass shot. When you're talking 230 yards, I will tell you that I can look on target, get on target, and then close my eyes and pull the trigger and still hit a man-sized target silhouette all day long.
Yeah, so that's what you were saying before. One second. That's what you were saying before when you said if it was you shooting or Eric Trump shooting, that this
or anyone who had true
anyone
experience.
who was actually experienced, that's what would have happened.
Sorry,
Elliot, go ahead.
It's just you're a sharpshooter. Are we holding? You see what I'm getting at? It's
the average shooter.
The average shooter could have been able to do that. Okay.
I can put anyone on this panel onto an actual range.
Right.
Dial in exactly where it needs to be, and in some cases, not even dial in the elevation. Just tell you, go ahead and see the crosshairs and aim at your target.
Right.
And I will tell you 9 out of 10 times you're going to hit that target.
Right.
It's terrifying.
I think, having done advance as well, there's such a relationship between the advance team
Absolutely.
and the Secret Service in figuring out where can the candidate be? Where's the counter assault team going to be? Where's
the stage going to be?
Exactly.
Where's the tight
all
shot
of those
be?
things. And part of what I have found surprising, I'm not criticizing anyone until we know the facts, but it was surprising to me when we see the map that this building, I guess, was outside of the perimeter and somehow maybe not accounted for.
That's the issue. 300 yards is not outside the perimeter when they have a permissible and visible shooting platform. The thing for me is that everyone, I hear this continually utilized, well, it's outside of the platform or perimeter or shooter. Mm-hmm. Who determines the distance on the perimeter? Right. Your security advance team does. So when you lay that out, if that was a private business, and I believe I saw earlier it was AGR or something like this, correct? Mm-hmm. You would actually have your law enforcement, your advance team go talk to the CEO there and say, hey, listen, we are obviously having a rally. We don't want it to disrupt your business. We want to make sure that you guys have the ability to come in and out of the parking lot so it doesn't disrupt things. But could we actually put someone on your rooftop to be able to provide additional oversight? I've never seen where we've been denied that opportunity. And even if they did, you would at minimum have at least said, well, can we at least make sure that any of the areas which is permissible to get to the rooftop, that we can place a security guy there or we can place a law enforcement officer there?
And one thing I want to show our viewers, if we could put up the Doug Mills photograph, please, to just kind of underscore what the congressman has been talking about here. That is a picture of a bullet, right? You can see it circled there. And I mean, Congressman, I welcome your comments on this as you have been discussing kind of just how close this call was.
This is what we call the vapor trail. And what you find is in days of higher humidity, you actually see this more clearly. This is the benefits of why when a sniper and their spotter will lay down in a prone position and overlap one another, it's so that while the recoil is absorbed by the shooter themselves, the spotter can actually watch the vapor trail of where the bullet's going so that if it didn't impact target, they can actually call for the follow-up corrections. So what you're seeing there is a vapor trail that's coming off of the actual bullet. Now, the bullet is beyond the actual area of the circle that they're looking at right now. That is obviously the trailing area. But the point is that you see that literally, as I stated earlier, milliseconds and millimeters matter. And the president is exceptionally blessed and fortunate, and thank God he had God's hand to protect him at this moment. But this is a huge security breach where I love our law enforcement officers. I love our federal law enforcement officers. But this has to go beyond just their internal investigation. This needs to be a congressional oversight investigation. This needs to be ensuring that everyone in the American populace can say, I am confident with the findings of this. They don't feel that it's a quoted inside job. They don't feel like this is something that was just other than a security breach or a security flaw. And I think that that's important for us to give the confidence to understand that, this assassination attempt will not occur in the future and that we will have a stronger apparatus that's still established.
Yeah, I definitely want to stay in the realm of, we don't know yet what could possibly have happened here.
That's why the investigation is so
important. But we absolutely do know that this was an incredible failure.
And I will say President Trump saved his own life there, and I'll just go ahead and key on this. The training they get, the element, As soon as he got hit, the first thing he did was he immediately dropped and lowered his silhouette behind that security barrier. Yeah. That is the same thing from a tactical perspective. You're trained in the military, law enforcement, which is that when you take fire, you immediately reduce your silhouette, you get behind cover, and then you assess the threat, direct the target, mitigate it. Yeah. The president had done an amazing job in doing this, and not to mention the fact, the bravery that he had when he stood up to tell everyone to not cause the additional panic, to fight. And I thought that was one of the most iconic, and that's who he is. I could tell you he was more pissed off than scared. And that's who the president is. Whenever someone tries to kill him, he's not going to be scared. He's not going to be silenced. He's not going to be worried about what people are going to do to try and indict him. This is a man who will continue to stand for the American people, and that was a very iconic image of him standing there for the American people.
Certainly instantly iconic, and we have a lot to grapple with as a country here. And I will also just note, Congressman, that all of the experience that you've been able to bring to bear to help us understand what we saw yesterday, you did all that work in war zones, right? Not here in America, and that's kind of where we are. Congressman Cory Mills, very grateful for you. Thank you very much for being here. All right.